I don't know if you can see it, but I am sat in the midst of a chaotic mess at the moment, but I'll explain that in a minute. There's two things, one major, one not so major, that I just kind of want to update everybody on. Sorry if this is a bit shaky, but like, heart's going, adrenaline's going, everything's been going the past few days. I did film a little bit of something to put out before Christmas. I hope you all had a good Christmas, by the way, a lot better than mine, hopefully. There was like a couple of reasons why I didn't get around to putting that video out. This is like the major kind of thing that happened, which is what affected me. Sorry about the shades, but I'm light sensitive and that has to do with what I'm going to be talking about. So I've been walking around the past sort of 3 days with my shades on. Otherwise I get really lightheaded and dizzy and nearly faint and end up having to spend the day in bed. It's Boxing Day as I film this, so yes, Christmas now is over. Boxing Day is not a day to relax for me. Boxing Day apparently is a day to get everything done, because that is what I feel like today. The major thing that happened is the Monday before Christmas, I had my job centre appointment and everything had been getting on top of me so much, I practically had a full mental breakdown. I ended up in the job centre for an hour. My advisor is just one of the best people on the planet. She is an absolute angel. She truly is, and she's helped me out a lot in the past week or so. She knows about all the eviction stuff and everything. I told her before, so I've got more appointments with her at the minute. So this was an extra appointment this Monday just gone, so that I could update her on everything, because I'd spoken to the council and the council were beyond unhelpful for me, and that was the last straw for me and nearly caused my breakdown. So she was worried about the state of my mental health, and I did say to her that from what the council had said that I might have to go into shared housing and give up my cat. I turned around and said, if I give up my cat I have nothing to live for and I will kill myself. And obviously that got her a little bit worried. So I had said to her that I was going to be ringing my doctors the next morning for an emergency appointment, but she did not want to let me go while I was feeling like that. So she actually rang the doctors on my behalf and got me an appointment for the next day, which, with the amount she spoke to me and getting the appointment and everything, like, I really calmed down a lot, because I couldn't talk about anything without crying. I couldn't think about anything without, I was just crying all the time. I could barely stop. I was crying myself to sleep. I had no hold on my emotions whatsoever the past couple of weeks because of everything that has been going on. And while I don't massively feel better about everything that's going on, I do feel a tiny bit better in my own mental health, enough to kind of get by and get through at the moment. So I spoke to the doctor and he gave me some antidepressants, which, not for the sake of having antidepressants, but more for the fact that these ones have a sedative element to them. So the point would be to take them before bed. I could hopefully get a good night's sleep, which would help a lot with evening out my emotions and, you know, my anxiety and everything. However, I didn't take one the first night. I don't know why, I can't remember why I didn't take it the first night, but I took it the next night. It kicked in almost immediately. Within half an hour, I was like, I need to put everything down and go to sleep. And I'd taken it at about 9:30. So 10 o'clock, I was falling asleep. However, it was like my body, my brain was trying to fight falling asleep. So I kept feeling this build up, and it was getting to the point of painful, and then I had to move, or it was just incredibly painful. So I had to keep moving, and then I could see things behind my eyes when I closed my eyes, so that didn't help. And I had lots of weird dreams that night, and then the next morning I could not wake up. My alarm went off. I woke up for about a second, fell back to sleep, another alarm went off, I fell back to sleep a total of 3 times. And then that day, it was horrendous trying to do anything. I felt so ill, so very ill. And I was coming off the tail end of having my jab done. I'd had it the Thursday before, so I had only just started to recover from feeling ill from that. And so I just couldn't do anything. I was just sitting there all day. I couldn't stand the lights being on, so I was sat in the dark, and I was just like, I can't take another one of these, because with it being so close to Christmas, I had presents that still needed to be wrapped. I could not take another tablet, so I didn't take any more, and haven't taken any more, and it's taken me sort of 3 days to recover from taking that one tablet, and that's the major reason why I ended up not getting the video out, because I just didn't have it in me to edit it. I was sensitive to everything for 3 nights. I wasn't sleeping properly. I was having terrible dreams. When I was closing my eyes, I was having hallucinations kind of behind my eyelids, which were horrendous. And it's just the worst few days I've ever had. Luckily, I wasn't travelling. I had already cancelled my plans to go to my parents because of everything going on. So I didn't need to travel, otherwise I would, if I hadn't have cancelled, I'd have been cancelling. There was no way I could travel feeling like that. But then, randomly, Christmas Eve, once I started fighting through it later on in the day, like in the afternoon, so the day before Christmas Eve, I was on my own, and I was fighting through it, and I ate my dinner at 2:30. It was like the only meal of the day that I actually ate. But after I ate that and drank and just kind of pushed myself through it, which was such an effort, but I managed to do it, I felt a little bit better, so I just kept eating, kept drinking, and that's all I was doing, was resting, eating, drinking. When I mean resting, eating, drinking, I was literally laid in bed, eating practically non-stop and trying to drink as much as possible non-stop. I was so dehydrated. My mouth felt like it was full of fluff. It was just horrendous. So now I'm kind of on the other side of that. I had a bit of a splurge on that day, the day before Christmas Eve, with an idea of what I wanted to do to get started on packing, and I started it that day, and I'm kind of doing the second phase of it today. So that is kind of like the second reason why I've not really done anything, and that's the second kind of like not so major update. So the changes I'm doing is to my room, which is why I'm in here, and I had this great idea, and you might not see a lot of this because it's a dark corner, but I had a little black table there. I've moved that temporarily. It's just in the living room for now, but it's going to end up in that corner. That dress rail was obviously in that corner. It's now staying there for now. I've been going through all of my clothes, washing everything because it all smells damp and mouldy. I had a big suitcase down there that was full of summer clothes. It's all getting washed and dried thoroughly in a room that has no damp and no mould in it. And then I have cleaned out my suitcase. I cleaned out this suitcase, and this is now packed full of stuff that I can live without for the next couple of months. So I am living on the bare bones of clothing, as you can tell. Some of this is pyjamas on there, as well as everyday clothing and that kind of thing. It's all going to be on there for the next however long I'm in this house. Then this corner, because that unit there, if you can see it, because I don't know how dark that corner is coming up on the video, but that was a temporary unit I got when I first moved into the house, and it was never meant to be a permanent solution, and it's been nearly 3 years and I still have not managed to replace it. So that is about to go in the bin because it's currently empty, which gives me that huge corner, which I could easily create about 3 piles. I am going to start putting all the boxes of things that are packed. It is all going into that corner. I have yet another pile of stuff to go to charity. I've already given 3 bin bags full of shoes, handbags and clothing, because when I'm in a better financial position I can always buy more clothes. It's not needed, it's not necessary. There are certain things that I've just ended up clinging on to that I just don't need anyway, like black trousers that I had for sort of like interviews and work and that kind of thing. I don't work, not going to be going to interviews for a while. So that is kind of everything at the minute that's going on. So because so the sunglasses are on because since taking that tablet I'm still incredibly light sensitive, so I can't have the light on and wear my glasses. I start feeling really ill, I start feeling really faint, but it's too dingy and to do anything with my normal glasses on and the light off, so I have to wear my sunglasses inside my house at the moment, and I'm hoping in the next few days that will go. I've got a lot coming up in the next few weeks in terms of like appointments and stuff. I've spoken to Citizens Advice. They gave me some great pieces of advice, and I'll be talking to them again. I've got mental health coming up. I have an appointment with my job centre coming up. My doctor is going to be ringing me again as well. So it's kind of a bit go at the moment, but fingers crossed something will come up. But at the very least, by getting all this done, getting everything packed, if something does come up, or whether it doesn't and I end up homeless, or I end up having to stay at somebody's and this all has to go into storage, at least it will be ready to go, and I will feel more prepared, and mentally I will feel better. And at the moment it is all about doing everything I can to just mentally get through it and feel better. I hope you guys all had a much better Christmas than I obviously did, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.